Hi everybody, my name is Travis. This is Travis Does Kayak Fishing. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I have a cool video for you, especially if you're a beginner or just don't really know what the Uni Knot is. This is my favorite knot. It was the first one I learned. I've learned a few since then, but I've got to be honest with you, about 100% of the time, I'm tying on a Uni Knot. I'm tying it on my drop shot, I'm tying on my jigs, I'm tying on my spinners, I'm tying on wacky rig hooks, finesse, Ned, power, you name it. It's just a matter of how many loops I'm putting into it to make it as tough as I need it for what I'm fishing. So let's show you what I'm talking about here. So what the Uni Knot is, it's friction between the rope, creating the knot and cinching it down. That's what makes this one so strong. The friction of it coming together, constricting, and then tightening down. And when it does it, you have really high break points. You know, I think in studies it's something like 99.9% of the time it held or something, some ungodly number like that you really shouldn't trust coming from a stranger. But what you want to do is, let's say this was the fishing line. It's easy to see, it's big and blue. You make a U, and then on the end, the short end that you're gonna fold it over, you come back over. The only thing we're doing at this point is crossing over. So we've made like a weird 8 with this weird tag tail coming over the top. And I'm gonna pull up a little bit of slack because I wanna add a couple more than just 2 loops. So I've got that weird 8 shape again. It's a U folded over. And I'm gonna take this tag on the bottom, the very end piece, it should be the shorter. This piece will be attached to your rod and reel. This piece will be hanging loose. And we're just gonna loop it around. I'm gonna go in twice on this and pull it down. I said I wanted more, but it's not a very big rope. Now with that pulled there, just 2 loops, I can slide it down, I can slide it up, and it's pretty tight when it gets down. A big trick to these is to wet it. You know, either spit on it, spit on your finger, dip it in the water, but get it wet before you cinch down, and that'll make it even tighter. It'll come down over the hook and it'll work. Let me get a longer strand and I'll do it one more time with a white piece for you. Okay, so with the white rope, we're gonna create one with a few more loops in it. So I got my U shape. I'm coming back down with the tag end. The end connected to the rod is up top. And I'm just gonna start looping this guy, keeping him tight, not crossing over, keeping them in line and uniform coming up. Because if you cross them, it weakens your knot strength. And knot strength is huge. So many people underestimate how important it is to tie a proper knot and make sure you stop losing fish. Now, you see that's tied around, it kind of looks like a noose. I don't like that. It's also known as a hangman's knot, but it'll come down, slide, and it'll cinch right down on whatever you have. And it can be moved back up, but once you get it wet and you're down on that hook, it's not gonna come off. Okay guys, I've got one more to show you and then I gotta get my fan back on, it's kind of warm. Let's say this is your leader and the blue is your braid. So white's your leader, your fluoro clear, your fluorocarbon, your mono, whatever you like, I won't judge you. And this will be your braid. So the braid's coming down, the leader you're pulling up. Ignore all this excess hanging over, just know this is coming straight down and all this is theoretically on the rod here. Haha, that helps. Maybe, I may not be able to tie that way. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna loop this over just that once, right? Nothing crazy here. I'm gonna tie them up 3 times and then I'm gonna cinch that. That is cinched onto the braid, but you don't just wanna pull this down because what's gonna happen, it's gonna slide all the way down and off because remember, this is a tension knot, it's a cinch. So we're coming back up. I'm gonna turn it over to help. Even if you've got this on the rod, try and get it upside down to help if you want to. You can do it this way, but you want that slack kind of resting over your hand. Now, I've got him over, I'm gonna loop, and then I'm just gonna start tying around the mono, fluoro clear, fluorocarbon, whatever you've got there. It's kind of a sloppy looking knot on this side. I hope it looks better for you guys. All right, now we've got a knot and a knot, and we just cinch them. These tag ends, you'll cut off. These are just tags, we'll get them as close as you can. A trick to this Uni Knot, don't go more than 5 loops each, and if you are using big line, be mindful of that knot. It normally won't cause an issue. Now, if you go 8 loops deep and you've got 20 pound on with 60 pound mono, you're gonna feel that knot in your thumb. You're gonna feel it hit the line eyes as it goes out. So try and keep your Uni Knot small, no more than 5 loops. I like to use it on, you know, anything like I said, but if I'm using it on leader, I like 15, 20 pound braid, 8 to 10 to 12 pound leader, depending on what the technique is. For bass fishing, I don't really need anything heavier than that here in South Carolina. But gentlemen, that's the Uni Knot. It's very easy to tie, very beginner friendly. You can use it for leader, you can use it for any kind of lure, you name it, it will work with a Uni Knot if you know what you're doing to some degree of variation. Right? When you do the drop shot, you have to know how to loop it back around the hook to get it right, tie your knot, and then go back through the eye and down. It'll work perfectly on the drop shot. That's it, guys, and no more talking from me. Thanks for stopping by. Hope that helped you learn the Uni Knot, and if it did, here's a like. You can comment down below. You can also subscribe. If that's not your cup of tea, you didn't like this video, you can dislike, or you can just move on, or tell me what you think in the comments.